We smoking dung beetle.
Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai Limited Movie Monster Series Godzilla Store exclusive, Hedorah Landing Period Bipedal Walking Version. Now that's what I call long-winded and overly descriptive names Volume 2. But seeing as how the crawling version of this thing got announced this weekend, yeah, I guess it was needed.
Smack my ass.
The hunchback of Notre Stain Hedorah will be standing at well over 5 inches tall, nearly 6 if not for that hunchback. Here that is, from an alternate angle and a bit closer to the camera. Now let's take a looky at this tag and look at it. It's adorable. We've got a nice image of bipedal Hedorah on the front over here. Hedorah, overly descriptive name, Hedorah, Godzilla 2023. Back of the tag cut out to the side of Hedorah's profile with Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla Store, and Movie Monster Series on the back. The inside of the tag has what it usually has. And since this is a Godzilla Store exclusive, we are going to double sleeve it, where its pollutive alien stench could never harm us ever because
vegans are killing our planet with their meaty butt burps.
Alrighty, so landing form bipedal walking version Hedorah. Let's talk about things I never thought I'd ever see happen. Hedorah forms in the Bandai Movie Monster series? No, never. But now, all we need is the flying form, the aquatic form, and of course, Petri dish coon. That little sucker absolutely counts as a form of Hedorah. Fight me. Hedorah's head is as lumpy and veiny as ever, with some rather new details coming about. We still have the very bumpy and bulbous brow above Hedorah's vaginal-looking eyes, but this time around we've got Hedorah with a suck hole for a mouth, and the little details being hinted and glinted at with the silver metallic paint really does bring it all home. On the side of Hedorah, we're going to have more of that silver shiny paint with little drips of yellow. Oh yes, that'll be on both sides with 2 different designs coming about. Hedorah's eyes are a bit bigger in this form as compared to the perfect form, and the paint is a little messy on this eye, but the deep bloody red, the solid black, and the very light gold paint on them really do bring a whole bunch of life to this. Moving on down to Hedorah's arms and chesticle area, we've got some very drippy looking arms outfitted with some metallic silver paint on them, and overall I think they look pretty nice. This arm over here definitely could have used a little bit more metallic silver paint, but just the fact that these tendril drips are a lot more pronounced than they are when Hedorah reaches its perfect form, I appreciate it. And as you can see, we're going to get more tendrils underneath the tendrils of Hedorah's head, moving into the chesticle titty area, and then into the... That's gotta be the front zipper, right? I mean, that has to be. But we will get some nice details over here nearest the zipper. Over here, moving into the crotch, it kind of fades in and fades out. It's not all that pronounced. But then we get into the legs where... yeah, it's a little bit of the same. Hedorah's legs are as drippy as ever, and the detail isn't spontaneously combusting at the seams over here. It's obviously quite noticeable, but it's nothing to really write home about. The very minor detailing on the toe drips and everything are rather nice, and I really do enjoy the fact that these actually look like they're all congealing and forming together to make Hedorah's legs. Intentional or not, it's still pretty cool. On the bottom of Hedorah's feet, we've got some stuff. Trademark Toho Company Limited, Bandai China with some numbers. And then we're going to move on to the bottom of the tail over here, which is going to see some minimal detailing work. Nothing crazy, nothing bad, nothing to really write home about here. It's good. The detail was more so saved for the top of Hedorah's tail over here, which does look fantastic. Moving on to the back of Hedorah over here. Oh man, there's Am I immature for thinking that it looks like 2 testicles growing out of Hedorah's back? Absolutely. Still funny to me. We'll discuss the pre-sack in a bit, but I really do like the tiny little differentiation in details over here, almost like everything's not fully grown out yet. And the way that Hedorah's back kind of just looks like a pregnant garbage bag with something inside of it is just a really neat little detail. They almost look like cocoons. And the mixture of metallic silver and yellows back here as highlights really just do the job. And again, it's a very minimal detail quirk, but I really like that every angle of this figure has something to see. As you can see on the top of Hedorah's head over here, there will be no cracking, and much to my surprise, maybe, that's because the landing period suit and the perfect suit are actually 2 separate suits. Now, I'm a Godzilla vs. Hedorah mega fan, and I never knew that. I just thought it was the perfect suit on the ground with maybe a different head or something, but no, it's a whole different suit. Look at that. Even the mega fans can learn something new in a ShinRobjira review. Watch me be the only person that didn't know that. But I think my favorite little detail about Hedorah's back over here is just this weird lump kind of forming into a tube back here. I don't know, that's just an interesting little design quirk. I don't remember that being properly represented on screen, which it's the back of the monster. Why would it be? But I like that we can kind of faintly see one back here as well, almost like Hedorah's back is preparing to have that gigantic sack on there. And yes, testicle back. Other than that, there's really not too much going to be going on with the back of Hedorah in terms of paint. It's more so just all detail. And as far as I'm concerned, Hunchback of Notre Stain or Goblin Hunch Mode Hedorah over here is absolutely worthy of a solid star in terms of detail, and yeah, I'll give it paint too. I do feel this figure could have used a little bit more paint. Maybe it's just my Hedorah bias peeking through as it does a lot. I don't know, maybe something over here or the underside of the arms or something. Or maybe a little bit more on Hedorah's back. That's the thing though. I don't recall landing version Hedorah really being all that colorful. The colors kind of came later on down its lifetime. So, I don't know, maybe this is as accurate as we'll get for the time being. What about X+? Ah. Alright. Staying a solid star, screw it. Articulation time. Hedorah will be able to move all the way around at the arms over here rather smoothly. I quite like it. Unfortunately, articulating the arms all the way around won't showcase any hidden paint, but it will showcase some nice details, making these tendril drips look like Hedorah's just got really, really long fingies. Nothing at the legs, as per Hedorah norm. Nothing at the head. Oops. Nothing at the head. This is but the seam back here. No articulation, as I'm sure you assumed. But thankfully, we do have rotation at the tail back here. I took one good look at this thing's promo shots and thought, yep, articulated arms, that's about it. Once the in-hands from Japan started coming out and people were posing the tail, I was quite surprised and rather happy. Finally, a vinyl Hedorah with an articulated tail that's not from CCP. Did I already say one solid star? One solid star. Bandai The Godzilla Collection Hedorah, the original Movie Monster Series Hedorah, 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 and Movie Monster Series Hedorah. Finger Puppet Hedorahs, Minimate Hedorah, and the Bandai Toho Monsters Press Conference Public Apology Hedorah. Ah yeah, and Godzilla. All things considered, I would definitely call this a Hedorah figure for the Hedorah fans. I'm sure not everybody is as crazy about Hedorah as I am, both the movie and the monster, but it's a great time to be a Hedorah fan, that much is certain. And with the crawling version of this figure coming out very, very soon, my hopes for flying tadpole and petri dish coon will only grow higher. I have been ShinRobjira. I do so hope you all enjoyed this review. Social media, Patreon, $1 a month, access to everything. And when next we meet, which will be tomorrow night on Halloween, Negathon 10.1. Woo! See you next time. Bye!